Today, we have contact with one of the ancient civilizations, teachers of humanity, who have been in contact with us for many millennia. Here they are, depicted. I will put them aside for now, and today they will provide very interesting information on the topic of why the events that are happening and that we are witnessing are occurring. What is their purpose? And each of you can ask them questions if you wish. Who are the Blue Avian? They are representatives of a bird-like or avian civilization. Yes, branches of evolution in the universe develop differently in many species. For some, development occurs as it does with us, and we see humanoids, while elsewhere, development occurs from other branches of evolution. This happens much less frequently, and among them, there are sometimes such humanoid birds. That is, they are intelligent beings just like you and me, even much more intelligent, but they evolved from birds. Today we will meet with them and get to know them more closely. When did it happen to me? It wasn't the first time I heard it. I began to realize that it wasn't new to me. That such civilizations exist, they have been coming to me for a long time. But I interacted with them to the extent that, without asking about their origin, I have one mentor from the Russian Academy of Sciences, one of the mentors whom you know, even since ancient Egypt, they have been in contact with humanity since then. And in many cultures on Earth, you can observe the emergence of such civilizations. It's like in Egypt, deities that appear there in the form of bird-like beings, such as Ra, Thoth, as I already mentioned, and such as in India, for example, Garuda, and such as Quetzalcoatl. This is also a bird-like god among the Maya, and such manifestations can be found in all ancient cultures that existed on Earth. And as a rule, they are depicted precisely as gods who came from somewhere among the stars, arriving on some celestial ships, even flying on their own wings and settling. And not only did they teach humanity, but they also lived alongside us. Yes, there were such times on Earth when they both taught us. The civilization with which we are about to communicate is also part of the Galactic Federation of Light. They are already present here. The only remark I would like to make is that there is Ra who, or rather, not exactly like that. They are speaking to me now. All right, I understand. I will immediately pass the word to them. Here they are speaking to me now. Representatives of the Blue Avians have arrived. Among them is Ra, and he is telling me now that I am understood in different incarnations under different names. My manifestation here among you is present not only as a being residing on the sun, but also as a humanoid representative. My soul is incarnated simultaneously in different worlds. I simultaneously have an incarnation in a physical body in the form of an avian avatar. I also have an incarnation in the form of solar light, which you recognize as Ra. There is an entire group of solar plasmoids that also call themselves Ra. But that is not me. I am only one of the light angelic beings existing within the sun. That is Ra. He is now saying that he is one of those representatives who wrote the book, The Law of One. This is channeled material, or the Law of the One. It can be translated that way. Which was also transmitted by representatives of both the Blue Avians and solar origin plasmoids. The Blue Avians hold a very significant place in the Galactic Federation of Light, as they are also part of it. And they are part of the Supreme High Council, the Keepers of Wisdom, who pass on knowledge to other civilizations, oversee them, and protect them. When humanity was still emerging and living on Mars, representatives of RA lived alongside us. And it is from there that the so-called earthly Egypt originates. There is also a Martian Egypt. That is, on Mars, when humanity lived there, there also were our civilization, and it built pyramids. And there, alongside us, lived gods, representatives of these bird-like beings. And from there, all these legends still come. So now I give the floor to them. To begin with, what do they look like? They look similar to us. They have arms, legs, and they have... Now, where is my picture? And they have a beak. They have feathers. Their body is covered with feathers. Although their beak is not hard, it is soft and flexible. That is, they can speak and they can... That is... Now, all right, let them tell about themselves. We welcome you, people of Earth. My name is Rai, and today I speak on behalf of our civilization. We are those whom you call the Blue Avians. Our history is very ancient, as our civilization evolved slowly, originating from intelligent birds that existed at that time in our world. In our world, we originated on a mysterious planet that vaguely resembled your Earth. On our planet, oceans and mountains dominated and prevailed. And since ancient times, we have been a species of birds living on cliffs who foraged for food in the sea. Therefore, our predominant diet is marine-based. But we can also consume fruits, plant-based foods, with elements of marine food. Our civilization, in addition to its development through representatives of dense matter, interacted and communicated with subtle material worlds. We are among the magnificent astral travelers, and into the bodies of our representatives of the earthly, as you call it, Earth species, began to inhabit souls of a higher order. When our species became potentially suitable for the embodiment of an intelligent spirit, our Beskilt planet was discovered by representatives of a more advanced galactic community. And energies were sent to our planet, and we underwent a quantum transition, similar to yours in due time, after which the evolutionary course of our species progressed in such a way that we developed hands, feet, and a humanoid appearance, allowing us to walk and run. Initially, our species resembled creatures that in your mythology are called griffins. That is, creatures having a front and rear pair of limbs, and resembling something mixed between a bird and a horse. That's why we have upper and lower pairs of limbs, in addition to wings. On your planet, birds mostly have two pairs of limbs. These are wings and legs, because they evolved from corresponding types of living creatures. We evolved from more mixed species that were not yet bipedal, because we had to plan from cliffs into the sea. and then climb back up. That's why we needed 4 limbs. Now we exist as multidimensional beings. Exceeding the boundaries of the 5th and 6th density. We are mastering the levels of vibrations of the 7th dimension, what you call 7D. Our planet lies quite far from the nearest cluster. The distance is about 400 light years. In the direction of the constellation, which constellation? In the direction of the Cat constellation. This star is barely visible to you, but besides our home planet, we also have several colonies where we have established our oil life. Currently, we are present on Earth as a delegation from several spacecraft. Our interaction with your ancient history has shown that direct supervision of your civilization does not yield results in the evolution of consciousness, because you perceive us more as gods than as teachers. Our tasks on Earth were to transmit sacred knowledge, because in the Galactic Federation we are among the representatives of the teachers of sacred knowledge. Each representative of our civilization has many parallel incarnations, so our civilization can also be called Galactic Priests. The peculiarity of the development of our extrasensory perception determined our different evolution compared to other species, as bird-like beings originally have far more sensory organs than other species. Your earthly birds are capable of determining orientation in space because they have special sensors and sensitivity to the magnetic field. We also possess such sensitivity, and on our planet, we had many more different ways to perceive reality. Therefore, we biologically inherently possess the predisposition to super abilities and to what you call mystical phenomena, extrasensory perception. For us, it is very highly developed because the survival of our civilization depended on it. Currently, we mainly observe you. Our active role involves curating and guiding your civilization. However, we also have representatives in the security service. In the Galactic Federation of Light, we serve as secret agents who can delve very deeply to investigate the planet's security systems. And many of our representatives can incarnate on Earth, forming parallel incarnations. In order to be on Earth, living an earthly life, to be present among people, and protect them from potential threats, as well as report possible threats to the representatives of the Galactic Federation. We are also very strong researchers, capable of delving deeply into the study of interactions and contacts with other civilizations. Our tasks include forecasting and identifying potential threats from other civilizations, as well as providing protection on both the subtle and physical planes of your planet. We constantly, reliably, and consistently maintain surveillance over those civilizations you call the grey reptiloids, as well as the higher alpha reptiles. We monitor them to prevent their unauthorized influences on Earth. Our activities are similar to those of your secret organizations, which are so secretive that even the rulers themselves may not be aware of the existence of such organizations. Because we conduct the deepest activities in security research and ensuring your protection. Every person plays a huge role for us because the events you are currently observing are not happening by chance. You recently observed a series of electromagnetic phenomena occurring as solar flares, then reaching Earth. The streams of new consciousness energy have now begun to manifest so clearly that you can start to feel them more expansively. The birds on your land are already sensing this. You can expand the ranges of your sensitivity and feel that new energies are arriving now. It is very important to be able to harmonize them, and practice plays a significant role in this. Practice of balance and calming the mind. You know about it, but that alone may not be enough. Many people do not think about the fact that their lives are mainly governed by a set of programs that they have recorded within themselves. Now, the streams of energy that are coming are amplifying the manifestation of all these programs. At the same time, the most secret, deep, and destructive phenomena are emerging from the depths, and perhaps many of you have even felt this yourselves. When it seems that emotions are overflowing, and it even seems that control is being lost. In fact, there is nothing surprising about this. Your time has come to realize yourself differently, to realize that you control this process, and to switch your control with precision. Yes, quite the opposite. Whenever negative emotions arise, you can replace them with positive ones. Conscious retransmissions. If this is not done, the flowing streams of energy will highlight in your consciousness those problematic moments, and they will manifest physically on the body. You can end their manifestation through your consciousness. We are in this space, and now we want to answer your questions. You can ask them. You want to ask us if there are perhaps any secret space programs that actually do indeed exist within your governments. We want to tell you something. Indeed, the events occurring on Earth are not random. Previously, through the contactee Yuri, you were warned about the grey civilizations conducting experiments on humans. The fact is that, as a result of our civilization's research, we have stopped several illegal experiments that these civilizations were conducting on humanity. There exists a conglomerate of destructive civilizations, that have a destructive orientation towards humanity. Destructive from our point of view, as they incorporate the suppression of freedom into their objectives, of will. And they have contacted representatives of your governments. There are so-called organizations on Earth that you know as Masonic organizations, and other secret societies of this orientation. They tried to contact us, and with representatives of the Alpha Reptilians, and with other representatives of space. And they found cooperation specifically with the Greys and the Reptilians, as they turned out to be closer to them in spirit. They offered them mutually beneficial cooperation, as a result of which they will establish joint bases for researching the possibilities of human hybridization with other civilizations. This was initially presented to them as something positive. However, conducting such experiments from the perspective of our perception is happening with a selfish intent. Those representatives of the gray aliens conducting these studies due to this reticulum in their civilization, species degeneration is occurring, and they are searching for new planets to inhabit. They need planets suitable for life. But not only that, they also need DNA. And they also need beings endowed with divine consciousness. They have it too, but it is so atrophied that over many millions of years of their existence, there has been a degradation of their creative power. They want to regain it. This is through hybridization with humanity to create a new species between humans and representatives of their civilization. But these are not the only experiments they are conducting. They are conducting experiments on crossbreeding humans, not only with representatives of the Greys, but also with representatives of the reptilians and insectoids. The hybrids they produce are most often not viable. However, they have managed to develop viable lines. They had a secret program with representatives of the government on Earth, who were part of secret societies, but their societies were so secretive that even the secret services on Earth might not have been aware of them. Their goal was to prepare humanity to hand over control of the entire planet to the representatives of the Greys and Reptilians. At the moment of the quantum transition. For this, they needed the complete subjugation of humanity. For this, they needed total control. They devised a plan that they have been trying to implement over the last 200 years. A plan that includes world wars, the seizure and division of power. What you are currently observing in your society as the imposition of a new culture, in which the feminine and masculine are swapped, in which more and more people stop believing. Indeed, objective data, they start believing in a flat earth and other similar theories. At a time when advanced technologies on Earth have developed, when higher spiritual knowledge flowed to Earth through conduits, when the quantum transition and mass awakening began, they came up with a very good plan to lull people back to sleep. They devised various ways to make people dependent on gadgets, on mass media. And through secret technology that reprograms consciousness, they began trying to cloud the minds of the majority of people in order to impose their will on them. What is the main task and doctrine? Their role. The fact is, everything in the universe happens for a reason. And regarding what is happening, you might ask, how could you allow this? You are higher civilizations. You are part of the Galactic Federation. You oversee security. How did you allow this to happen? Dear ones, we do not have the right to interfere in your internal affairs. We have contactees on Earth and secret societies called the Alliance. And we also communicate with them as a counterbalance to the interactions that the Dark Ones conduct on your Earth. The term Dark Ones is relative. We are not cosmic racists and do not categorize civilizations as good or bad. We have different views and perspectives from them. They have chosen the path of transhumanism, a path that, in our opinion, is a dead-end branch of evolution. They have integrated numerous cybernetic technologies into their bodies, making themselves half robots. And in our view, this path separates them from the Creator. They would like the same for humanity. We actively oppose them. But we do not have the right to interfere beyond the authority that we possess. Humans on Earth are recognized as an intelligent species, which means they possess full free will to choose their own destiny. Every person on Earth makes this choice at every moment. And therefore, those secret societies that have decided to interact with these civilizations contact us, and we cannot stop their contacts because it is their will. It is their desire and intention. We protect Earth from intrusions that go beyond this. We protect Earth from a mass invasion. Abductions are now prohibited, which conducted experiments on humans. Because we managed to prohibit this through the exploration of diplomatic relations. Many bases of the Greys have been destroyed, which exceeded the limits and the scope of their influence on humanity. We cannot interfere in the affairs, theirs and yours, when you agree to what they do. As long as humanity agrees to live in illusions, in oblivion, as long as humanity agrees to be deceived and brainwashed, to live in the matrix, we cannot do anything. If people are accustomed to living as slaves and are used to considering themselves slaves, incapable of change, their future, then that is exactly what they need. But this is a lie. It's an illusion. In reality, there is a power within you that you can't even imagine. And thanks to this power, you will undergo your quantum evolution. As I said, everything happens for a reason. And this is precisely the challenge your humanity needs right now to become stronger. This is not just some resistance created for you by some dark evil forces. They are not bad. They are simply teachers who help you learn despite the temptations and seductions that become stronger. Right now you are taking this exam. An exam that will make you creators of your own reality. We know and believe that you will succeed. And your victory will signify the result of you successfully passing this exam. What does victory entail? And how should it occur? The struggle between darkness and light is happening within each of you. But this darkness and this light are merely conventional terms you're accustomed to using to describe different aspects of yourself, different aspects of God. Victory lies in reconciling within yourself. As soon as you reconcile the light and dark within yourself and acknowledge that your dark side does not control you, but you control it, you will gain complete control over yourself and become the creator. The creator is not divided into darkness and light. Darkness is as much a part of the creator as light is. Creation is as much a part of the creator as destruction is. Without destruction, there is no creation, and without darkness, there is no light. This is part of the unified harmony and balance in the universe. That is why your civilization is currently being influenced by both light civilizations and those you yourselves call dark. From our point of view, they are simply a training tool for you, creating additional resistance through which you become stronger. Each time you overcome this resistance, you gain more confidence and strength. What does this resistance consist of? It consists of the fact that every time you feel like being overwhelmed, victims of circumstances, unable to influence anything, when you want to feel guilty, feelings of grief, despair, you can remember my words and realize that it is neither good nor bad. Let go of the importance and start. Create your thoughts only in the context that is favorable for you. You have the power to interpret any event in your life in a positive way. And this is where victory lies. Victory in giving up the struggle with yourself, accepting yourself in all your manifestations, and realizing your true will as the creator. The only thing you need to get out beyond the sense of victimhood is to recognize the creator within yourself. It is you who create all the events in your life, not someone from outside. You are responsible for all the events in your life. And if you ask, who can help me? Who can help me? Who will solve all my problems? Then we will advise you only one thing. Go to the mirror and look there. You will see the one who will solve all your problems. Believe in yourself. You have limitless power. And the minority that is trying to create secret space programs has long been defeated. The alliance of the forces of light has disrupted their plans. And now, thanks to your collective free will, thanks to your meditations, requests for help to the universe, we have received additional authority. And we're able to identify many new bases. Recently, the security service closed. A base on Mars that was engaged in the production of human-like biorobots. This happened thanks to your request, which originated from Earth. They no longer have the opportunity to act secretly, so the only thing they can do is try to change the culture of society. To destroy from within the energy structure of the New Age human. But they will not succeed. Because islands of light, islands of harmony, will still remain on Earth. And when clouds gather around, the light of your source will shine brightly, dispelling any darkness. And this is how the renewal, awakening, and enlightenment of all humanity will occur. So we are ready to answer your questions. Are there animals on your planet, and what kinds? On our planet, there are many different species of animals, but there are no insects. I don't believe in the existence of such creatures. Why would high vibration beings need a beak? How can you do this to him? How can one develop with it? And why do you need a mouth and teeth? How can one develop with them? Maybe they don't believe in the existence of beings like you, for example. How do you manage without wings? How can one develop without wings? Is that even possible? No. You know, life exists in the universe, sometimes in forms, and develops in ways that are hard to even imagine. Just look at dolphins. Dolphins are quite intelligent, and there are cosmic civilizations and dolphins, intelligent dolphins, and whales also participate in the meetings of the Galactic Council. They, of course, are not physically present. They can be present telepathically by leaving their bodies. Nevertheless, I ask you, how do dolphins with their mouths like that? Without hands, with fins, swimming in the sea like a fish. How did they become intelligent? Look up dolphin brains on the internet, find them. They look more complex than the human brain. And you ask, how can life be born in such a form? Of course it can. The avians can take those who wish to their planet. No, no one. I just like this. Okay, got it. There are, he says, special programs where some contactees are taken to planets to enhance their awareness development, and, as a rule, they are not returned back. They perform certain work there, on this planet as representatives of humanity. But this happens quite rarely, because not every person is stable enough in their consciousness to be ready to move to a completely unknown new world and never return to their previous life. It is very difficult, and we apply this extremely rarely. There are literally only a few people like this on our planet. So the answer is more likely no than yes. Will there be a war with the reptiloids? Will there be a war with the reptiles? They say, well, that depends on them whether there will be or not. We are ready to defend humanity, and we are ready to protect the interests of the Galactic Federation of Light. If they do not cross the boundaries of the permissible laws that exist, then everything will be resolved diplomatically. If there are no diseases on our planet, there are no diseases on our planet. Because we are very adept at deeply controlling our consciousness. Diseases like the ones you mention, even such as cancer and other illnesses, on your planet they arise primarily because you do not control yourselves. You are controlled by the set of programs that you have embedded in yourselves throughout your life. Incorrect destructive thinking, as well as the environment consisting of harmful substances for nutrition, contributes to the development of various diseases in you, but primarily this is influenced by the distortion of consciousness and the feelings and emotions you are accustomed to experiencing. Our chakra system is in many ways similar to yours, but unlike you, we have additional chakras that open not only as you have. The main vortex opens forward and backward, while our chakra vortices open to the left and right sides from the central column. And there exists 12 main chakras, each of which is duplicated on the left and right, except for the upper ones. Thus, we have 33 main chakras, located on the projection of the physical body. They function in a similar way to yours, but have a more multidimensional structure, since perception is much broader. What is the color scheme of your planet? Our atmosphere, the color scheme of our planet, is very similar to yours. We have a blue sky, but the shades are more shades, shades. The shades of light from our star fall into a more dull spectrum than on your planet, leaning slightly towards a bluer tint. Since our star is blue, the colors of our feathers can vary, depending on the habitat zone. On our planet, there are no deserts like yours, but there are rocky areas where there are neither plants nor animals. Most of the planet is covered by ocean, from which several continents emerge, mountainous regions. How long do they live? How long do you live? The average lifespan is 10,000 years. Yes, that's an interesting question. Are you live-bearing or egg-laying? He says, we are life-bearing, placental. Our development took a different trajectory than yours on Earth, so there was no need for us to lay eggs, since in our evolutionary history, our main part of development was that the female stayed on the shore, while the male was engaged in searching for food. We had a semblance of egg-laying in the early stages of our development, but then it has transitioned to live birth. How many hours are in their day? 25 hours. How do they travel through space? How do you travel through space? We have spacecraft. just like those of the representatives of the Galactic Federation of Light. They are mostly triangular or pyramidal in shape. We also have spherical ships and sometimes flying saucers. How do you create flying ships? On our planet, flying ships are not created. They are created using a special technology with the application of light polymer cabs. Light polymer cabs shield the ship and allow it to move. Not only in 3 dimensions, but in a greater number of dimensions. That's why, from your point of view, you can see how they move beyond the laws of physics. What is the height? From 2 meters. The height varies. From 180 centimeters, but on average it is from 2 meters to 2.5 meters, according to your measurement scale. What is the religion on your planet? We do not have religion. On our planet, there is the concept of science, which indivisibly includes what you call esoteric knowledge, like the science of the y-axis, the science of consciousness, of the soul, because we can feel and perceive it very vividly and easily. And it is very easy for us to conduct any research in this area. Have you listened to earthly music? We have listened to earthly music. Any music is vibrations. Vibrations based on harmonics. Universal throughout the universe. That's why music is listened to everywhere. We ourselves love music very much. We reproduce it, create it, and compose it. And we also sing. This music and our singing art has a much wider range than yours, but at the same time we are very surprised at how humanity is capable of singing, considering that you evolved from a different species. How much time do you need to reach Earth? On average, it takes 2 to 3 minutes, as our travel is done through energy jumps, although there are ships that do not have jump engines. They use Galactic Guides. Our civilization mainly based its technologies and travel on Stargate technologies. And some of these gates exist on the far side of your moon. We helped place these gates there. And through them, like through a gateway, various ships from different corners of the galaxy sometimes travel. And we also come through these gates. To be continued. And you ask interesting questions, right? And then I won't read the most boring questions. There's also a portal in the Giza Pyramid. An energy portal is located in the Giza Pyramid. It's a communication zone where ancient contactees received energy from us, and we could also physically come through this portal in the pyramid. In the pyramids. A physical connection between our worlds was opened. And it was used not only as an energy portal, but also as a material portal, where we could come without the need to arrive on flying saucers. There directly were open, gates opened, like stargates, through which we could come when the energy reached its peak point. What is the meaning of your life? The same as the meaning of yours. Can you say a few words in your language? I won't reproduce it, don't even sit there. But they tell me that they can speak in earthly languages, quite clearly, just like we do with you. They are telling me, now that we are not a completely pure species, in the sense that you understand it. Other civilizations participated in our creation. When representatives of higher civilizations discovered our planet, they made contact with us and offered us the opportunity for DNA exchange. These were enlightened civilizations that offered us methods of evolutionary DNA exchange, as a result of which we acquired the ability for live birth, as well as a more human-like appearance. At the same time, the ability to have a softer beak and the ability to speak like humanoid creatures. Along with this, there was a change in diet, and our civilization split into several different subspecies. Races that could eat differently, live in different regions, and look distinct from one another. Some of us, from our civilization, feed exclusively on plant-based diets, primarily on tree fruits. Another branch that went separately is the sea people, who primarily fed on marine species. And that's why we have representatives that look different. Some of them resemble, just like they are telling me now, they resemble these ones. With sharp beaks, these are the ones that feed on marine species. And the ones on the right are more plant-eating, feeding on fruits. That is, they went to live in different territories. In general, and that's why they have different appearances. That one, he was also from the civilization. If you pay attention to the images of ancient deities, specifically the Egyptian deities with bird heads, they have different heads, meaning they seem to look different. And now they are telling me, we have special technology that allows us to completely disguise ourselves as humans. We can come to Earth whenever we need to, and no human will be able to see our true form, while we can walk among you, and you won't even notice it. How many languages are there on our planet? We had 3 main languages before our planet united. After the unification of our planet, the language became unified. Continue. Do you travel to other galaxies? If so, how many have you visited? Personally, I have traveled to another galaxy. It was the Andromeda Galaxy. Who is speaking? Ra. I, as a missionary, have traveled to some galaxies, including the Andromeda Galaxy, multiple times. It's not difficult, considering the space-time tunnels we open. Besides the Andromeda Galaxy, I have traveled to many other galaxies. I visited 14 different galaxies, gathering knowledge during my period of seclusion and learning. I collected information and knowledge not only from the available sources we had, thank you, but also from those we didn't have. Such a tradition exists among many of us to acquire new knowledge. The period of seclusion, when we reach adulthood and finish our studies at our universities, we are given this period of seclusion to seek additional knowledge. Do the avians feel jealousy? No, the avians do not feel jealousy. Jealousy is a trait inherent to beings who have not yet understood their nature, because true jealousy is caused by insecurity, due to the fear of being rejected. We do not have such fear. Did you have contact with the Atlanteans? Yes, we had contact with the Atlanteans. We were among the mentors, curators of this civilization who tried to impart knowledge to them. And based on our knowledge, they created technologies. But then they deviated from the path of development that we offered them, which led to the self-destruction of their civilization. Does creativity, yoga, sports, painting, art exist on your planet? And so on. They say undoubtedly we have a lot of this from all civilizations. We are one of the most creative, as our nature largely gives us the opportunity to look at this world, not in the same way as everyone else. Look at your animal world, and among all the species, you can see that it is precisely birds, unlike other species, that use not only their intellect, not only for survival purposes, but also create complex courtship rituals for their mates in order to have offspring. Many of them create complex dwellings, structures, develop various cultures, dances, and even your earthly birds, one could say, possess creativity and can create in order to achieve some kind of inner connection with their partner when they meet them. This is justified not only by some archaic rituals, but by the culture itself. It is based on harmonization and sensing through vibrations. Even when your earthly birds dance in front of each other, sing beautiful songs, they show their feathers to choose a partner. They do this not just for the sake of it, but truly. In this way, they demonstrate their frequency vibrations. You don't see it, but they are transmitted. It happens as reading and transmitting energy frequencies. We have this too. And what you call dancing and creativity is present with us in a much broader spectrum than on your planet. Why don't you oversee our planet and instead it's done by reptilians? Where is the justice? Who is this to you? Told you? On the contrary, they actually oversee our planet and completely guide and assist it as much as possible. There are individual contactees, such as those in the Alliance of Light Forces, who cooperate with their civilization and simultaneously cooperate with government representatives. So, believe me, contacts are happening, diplomatic contacts, There are already countries on Earth whose presidents are, in fact, not only aware of the existence of aliens, but have even personally met with them, made agreements with them, including with the light ones. Don't think that only some dark ones are making contact. No, that's not the case. This is simply a contradiction that arises only in your mind due to a lack of information and knowledge on this topic. But besides everything else, many positive events are happening because many representatives of our governments have their personal contacts, communicate with the light forces, and even learn from them. Experience for preparing humanity to join the Galactic Federation. And this preparation is indeed underway. How to heal the autonomic nervous system, vegetative vascular dystonia. To begin with, let's say that there is no such disease as vegetative vascular dystonia. With real practices or something natural. Both, one and the other. In fact, the autonomic system is directly controlled by our subconscious, and healing it is elementary. Simple because the basis of the autonomic nervous system is the unconscious. That is, everything that happens on an unconscious level. And this means that you need to reprogram your unconscious. There are many different methods, ranging from daily repetition of affirmations to special meditations and visualizations. But you know what the main hitch is, why all this sounds so simple, and at the same time, people for some reason are not very eager to engage in it. Because for this result to manifest and reach the autonomic nervous system, it needs to be done systematically, regularly, through many repetitions. Therefore, if you want to fully restore your body, regularity and daily practice are necessary. Some gods of Altai with wings, they are with fathers. In fact, I will tell you, people can invent different images of gods for themselves, and many of them have aliens as prototypes. But that does not mean they belong to any specific people or region. It's just that those aliens came there. So, you don't need to repeat the same questions many times. There are questions we do not answer because they go beyond the ethical boundaries of our code. We do not answer certain questions because the answer to them is an obstacle to your personal experience. Some questions you must discover for yourself through seeking answers within, because information given in words is just information. It has nothing to do with real experience. Only by asking yourself some internal question and receiving the answer as a manifestation of your experience can you truly get confirmation for yourself. We are now concluding the contact. We will still be present in this space. But now we are leaving the space of the contactor's field. I thank you. It's a challenging contact for me as the contactor because, in fact, being a contactor, some have asked the question, how to become your contactor of Nemsky, that in general, it's actually better not to become a contactor. Ask the question, why become a contactor? Will everyone be one woman or man? I don't know how you feel about the interstellar union, they won't say. Firstly, secondly, who is this interstellar union that you refer to with the term interstellar union? That is, who came up with such a term? And what is meant by it, personally, I see no word, nothing under this term. For me here, there is nothing special under this term. They can read the chat when I read it. That is, they perceive the thought forms that I perceive when I read the chat. Today, there is such an interesting energy. And today, I really want to talk to you about this very topic. About how epigenetics has confirmed and proven, you can verify this for yourself, that our mindset precisely affects our entire body. And if you look at a person from the point of view of chemistry, not from the point of view of quantum physics, as I usually explain, waves, vibrations, but from the perspective of chemistry, then a person is a being that, in fact, any living being, consists of cells. These cells float in a kind of broth of chemical substances. And depending on what kind of broth your cells are floating in, it determines how they will live and how they will manifest. For example, all our body cells die and are born in one way or another. That is, we have cells that die and there are cells that appear. And when this happens, some cells are renewed with the help of stem cells. And stem cells essentially contain the DNA of the entire living organism. But it is precisely due to the combination of hormones they receive that they turn into either liver cells, skin cells, or cells of the back, for spine and spinal cord. But the question is this: if a person who is used to living their whole life in a state of danger, dissatisfaction, fear, anxiety, worry, then they will release into their blood, from their brain into their blood, hormones that will constantly suggest to these cells some kind of stress, as they say. And the cells themselves begin to try to live in such a mode as if they are about to die. Produce inflammatory processes. As a result, the cells begin to wear out very quickly, their telomeres shorten. A person ages faster, falls ill, develops cancer, and dies. But at the same time, if you redirect your consciousness towards a favorable course with positive thoughts, then your consciousness aligns in a harmonious context. And the cells of your body are immersed in the hormones that are responsible for your positive manifestation, and then they differentiate as a healthy organism. This is confirmed chemically from the perspective of epigenetics. When the part of the genes responsible for diseases is blocked, and those genes that are responsible for health and resources are unlocked. Therefore, the secret of health lies in... No, they haven't left, they are still here. The secret of health lies in restructuring all your thinking around the clock. Only to a positive mindset, finding advantages in everything and for everything. To be grateful. To learn to be grateful for any event. including those that seem negative. At first glance, I have a course starting soon on chakras, where we will be heavily focused on restructuring thinking. I provide it weekly, which is very convenient. Why is the Chakra D system very good for development? I really like it. If you watched my broadcast open on chakras, then you know. It's very convenient to follow the structure that builds the harmony of a person's light body, their soul. When we first work with the structures governed by the first chakra, we establish a sense of security, restructure the subconscious, then the second, third, fourth. And when we reach the upper limit, the person becomes completely harmonious and whole. I think this is one of my strongest courses. I will probably record it tomorrow or the day after, if the weather permits. Extended videos with explanations of what exactly will be in the course, because, as I understand, many are not aware of this. And you can retake the course if you have already taken it. So come join us. And I know that some of you, upon hearing this invitation, might think, well, this is just like everyone else. They all invite you to their courses. They all want just one thing. But, you know, here you need to turn off templates and stereotypes. I, in my courses, have the main task of seeing your changes and transformations. Therefore, my focus is primarily on this and the most favorable conditions for any budget conditions have already been provided. You can find them in the description under this video, in the chat, in the comments. I publish. So now we will do a meditation together, a meditation for peace, a planetary meditation. And with that, our broadcast will come to an end. So get into a comfortable position. Take a deep breath in and out. Call upon your higher self. And say to yourself, I am the presence of the higher self, here and now. I call upon all my lovely angels, guides, and guardians to create around me a favorable field. I am now opening streams of energy onto myself, pure, divine life force. Now, reproduce in your heart the feeling of love, light, and warmth. Take a deep breath and direct this feeling of light, love, and warmth to the planet. Imagine it, imagine the earth, and direct it towards her. This stream of energy envelop the entire planet. With light. Direct this light to where it is most needed. Imagine how energy radiates from your palms. Pink energy of love. Rotate the planet and direct this energy of love towards it. Breathe, and with your breath direct this light, which passes through the entire planet and erases all dark negativity. Now imagine a stream of golden light and envelop the entire planet with the energy of golden light. Thank you, and I accept the blessing. Now our meditation is coming to an end. Thank yourself and all the higher forces of light for all the processes that have taken place. I thank you all, friends. The meditation is complete. I have many planetary meditations. Today we did a short form with you. You can do the full and long form whenever you wish. Repeat it many times, it is very relevant now. For today, I am concluding this broadcast. Thank you all for your attention. Visit the links in the description to my Telegram channel. There, I provide information every day on various topics, including answering your questions with voice messages, sometimes for 15, sometimes for 20 minutes. And there is often very valuable information that doesn't always make it to YouTube. I thank you all, and with that, I say goodbye for today. I look forward to seeing you on the Telegram channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the course on Chakra Awakening. And I also look forward to seeing you at the retreat in August. Yes, there will be a retreat in August. If you want to attend the retreat on Samui, contact the administrators. They already have all the information, starting from August 11 to 22. And from the 27th to August 7, I will most likely conduct 2 sessions, maybe just one, we'll see. That's all for today.